Hello everyone, welcome to the GATE Engineering online learning classes. In this video, we are going to do quick revision on network theorems. So, in the series of this quick revision video, first we'll discuss about Thevenin's theorem, and after that we'll discuss about the Norton's theorem in this video, and in next video we'll talk about the maximum power transfer theorem and superposition theorem. So let's begin. What is the Thevenin's theorem? We are going to do quick revision on the Thevenin's theorem. So, as you know, statement is that a linear bilateral or bidirectional network having more number of elements can be replaced by an equivalent network consisting of a Thevenin's voltage source and Thevenin's resistance source. It means that we have a network which consists of several number of components, like that several number of resistors are given in the network. We can replace that by a single voltage source and single Thevenin's resistance. We have given few number of sources and number of resistors, and this should be the linear and bidirectional network. So this theorem is applicable for the resistors, inductor and capacitor components. It is not applicable for the diode because diode is a one directional element. It is not a bidirectional. So diode and transistor is not applicable. So for linear network, because diode is a non-linear device, so linear bilateral network, Thevenin's theorem is applicable for linear bilateral or bidirectional network, and we can replace number of elements by single VTH and single RTH. And where VTH or VOC is nothing but the open circuit voltage between the two terminal. VOC is the open circuit voltage between two terminal, and ZTH, or we can write RTH, is the equivalent Thevenin's resistance. Here if we write RTH, it is the equivalent Thevenin's resistance. If we write ZTH is the equivalent Thevenin's impedance across the terminal. What does it mean? It means that when we have a DC circuit, for DC circuit will compute RTH, for AC circuit will compute ZTH. So you will see more details in this diagram. This is the linear bidirectional network, and we want to compute the we want to find out the Thevenin's voltage across this load and Thevenin's resistance across this load. This is our load terminal. So we'll compute the VTH and RTH across this terminal, and we are considering this is consist of a several number of elements and sources. So we can replace this network by single VTH and RTH. This is the VTH and RTH. This is in case of the DC network when we have only resistive component, and rest part is connected as it is to this terminal. Now for AC circuit, we'll compute ZTH as I already told you in the last slide, and VTH will be the VTHT, which can be like Vm sin omega t, Vm cos omega t, because voltage will be function of time, so it will be the this will be for the AC circuit. Now, we'll see how we can solve the problem. What is the computational approach for computing Thevenin voltage and Thevenin's resistance? So we'll start from the Thevenin voltage. First, we'll remove the load resistance, and we'll find out the voltage across the load terminal. That is called as the open circuit voltage or Thevenin voltage. Now, for computation of Thevenin's resistance, first we'll remove the load resistance and we'll deactivate all the independent sources. Like voltage source will be short circuited and current source will be open circuited, and considering V equal to 0 and I also equal to 0. That means this is the meaning of the deactivation of the independent sources. And we'll compute the resistance of the network as looked from these two terminals, from the load terminal. This resistance is called as the Thevenin's resistance. And we'll replace the entire network with VTH RTH, and we'll connect the load resistance across the terminal. This is the fully approach procedure to computation of the Thevenin's theorem when we have only independent sources. Means there is no dependent source when we are considering only independent sources. Okay, so this is the example: 16 voltage independent source, 2 ampere is also independent current source. Now we have to compute the Thevenin's now we have to compute the current in this resistance RL. We can use KVL KCL approach to computation of the RL, but here we have to use the Thevenin's theorem for finding the current across the load resistance. So what we will do, we'll first remove the load resistance RL and we'll compute the VTH, then we'll compute the RTH. Okay, so let's see. We have removed the load resistance, we are going to compute the VTH across this terminal, and here 2 ampere current is flowing, and we are considering here potential at this voltage node is Vx, and current is I1 in this branch 8 ohm resistor, current I2 in the 6 ohm resistance, and this is a 2 ampere, but current will be 0 in this resistor because this is the open circuited. This is open circuit, so current will be 0 in this 2 ohm resistance. So this 2 ampere current will go in this direction and it will divide at the Vx. So what we will get? 2 is equal to I1 plus I2. It is dividing at node Vx. So we are getting I1 plus I2 equal to 2, and we'll apply the nodal analysis at this point, where I1 is nothing but the Vx minus 16 divided by 8 that we are writing here. I2 is the Vx divided by 6 and equal to 2. Here you can see that we have equation with only single variable, so easily we can find out the value of Vx. So Vx we will get, that is the potential across this terminal, and current in this branch is 0, so Vx is nothing but Vts here. Because there is no voltage drop here, because this is 0. Current in this branch is 0, so no voltage drop across this terminal. So we are going to compute the VTH, that is nothing but equal to Vx, and this is 13.714 volt. Now, in the second step, we will find out the RTH. For computation of RTH, first we will remove the load resistance and we will deactivate all the independent sources. Meaning of deactivation means that we will short circuit this current voltage source and we will open this current source. So you will get a new circuit. This is the short circuited, this is open circuited. Now you have to compute the RTH across this terminal. If you find out the RTH, so equivalent resistance across this terminal, you can see 8 ohm is in the parallel with the 6 ohm resistance, and this overall resistance is in the series with the 2 ohm resistance. So 8 parallel 6 plus 2 is the RTH. After simplifying it, we are getting 5.428 ohm. So we have computed VTH and RTH. Now we'll draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit, and we can draw VTH and RTH. VTH is nothing but 13.714 volt and RTH is 5.428 ohm resistance. Okay. Now we have to compute. This is the load resistance we have connected across this terminal. Okay. Now we have to compute the current across this terminal, IL. And we know RL is given in the question, which is 12 ohm. RL was given in the question, which is 12 ohm. So we know RL also. Now we can compute the current value by applying the KVL, and I will be VTH divided by RTH plus RL. I will be equal to VTH divided by RTH plus RL, and we know value of VTH, RTH and RL. RL is 12 ohm. So after simplifying this, we are getting the 86.89 milliampere current in RL, in resistance R. I hope it is clear to everyone. Now we are going to discuss about the Norton's theorem in the case of independent sources are given. So what we are going to do, and this theorem is similar to the Thevenin's theorem, but difference is that we replace the entire circuit by Norton's current source and Norton's impedance. Or Thevenin's impedance is equal to Norton's impedance, so we can say that we can replace entire network with the current source and the impedance. This is the Norton's theorem, and it is again applicable for the linear bilateral network. So this is a complex network which consists of several number of sources and resistor, inductor, capacitor in case of AC, and only resistor in case of a DC. So it consists of several number of components, or component RLC. So we can replace this network by a parallel combination of current source and Norton's resistance or impedance, and this load resistance is connected across the terminal A and B. So this is the approach to solve. This is the Norton's equivalent circuit. Now we can replace this entire circuit by IN, RN and RL. So we'll find out the IN and RN. What is IN, what is RN, how we can compute. IN can be computed by this approach. This is the procedure for computation of IN and RN. So we can compute IN first by removing the load resistance RL, and we'll find out the and sort the terminal. After removing the load resistance, we'll sort the terminal. Previously in the Thevenin's theorem, we open the terminals. Now we will sort the terminal and we'll find out the current ISC or IN in that terminal. ISC means short circuit current and IN is Norton's current. So in that terminal we will find out the current, that is the ISC, short circuit current or Norton current. Now for computation of the Thevenin's theorem, Thevenin's resistance or Norton's resistance, we will use the same approach as we used for the Thevenin's theorem, because Norton's resistance is nothing but equal to the Thevenin's resistance. Now we'll see, after solving this, we'll replace the entire network with parallel combination of the Norton current source in parallel with the resistance, and we'll connect back to the RL. Now we'll solve one problem here. This is the example given. In this problem, we have to compute we have to draw the Norton's equivalent diagram for this circuit diagram across this terminal. This is our load terminal, IL, RL. So we'll simplify this for computation of the IN or ISC. So here ISC is the current in this branch we will compute the ISC for this branch. And how we can compute? We can first find out the current I1 in this branch. We can find out the current ISC in this branch. You can apply 2 KVL for finding out the current ISC. And because after applying the KVL, you will get two equations with two variable or two unknown I1 and ISC, and you can easily compute the value of ISC. And there is another approach. You can consider current I in this branch, that will be equal to Vs divided by overall equivalent resistance. So Vs divided by R2 parallel R3 plus R1. So this is the I, and you can apply the current dividing rule. That will be ISC equal to I into R3 divided by R2 plus R3. This is the current dividing rule. If you are computing if current I in this branch and ISC in this branch, so current dividing rule, by according to current dividing rule, you will get ISC equal to I into opposite resistance R3 divided by sum of both the resistance R2 plus R3. So this is the ISC. Now we will compute the Thevenin's resistance or Norton's resistance. So in the circuit, we have one voltage source that will be the short circuited, because we are going to deactivate for computation of the Thevenin's resistance. So we will remove the resistance and open the terminal, and we will short circuit the voltage source, and we will find out the R internal resistance or Thevenin's resistance or Norton's resistance. So this Norton's resistance will be nothing but R1 parallel R3 plus R2. And we can replace the entire network with ISC and RN, and we'll connect back to the RN. This is the procedure for calculation of the Norton circuit. Now we can compute the IL by using the again current dividing rule. ISC into RN divided by RN plus RL will be the IL. That is the load current in the resistance RL. Now this is the example. We are going to solve this problem for computation of the Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem, and we'll draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and Norton equivalent circuit for this problem. So you understand it very carefully. So for solving the Thevenin's theorem, we required VTH and RTH. For solving the Norton's theorem, we required IN and RN. Okay. So here, what we are going to do, we have to compute the VTH, RTH, and IN across these two terminals. Consider this is the A, this is the B. Okay, so we have to compute three things, and you know RTH is nothing but equal to RN. So we will compute only one thing, and one relation is that according to the Ohm's law, VOC equal to ISC into RN, or VTH is equal to IN into RN. This is the one relation. So we will compute only ISC and RN, and we can get the VOC by using Ohm's law. So for computation of ISC, we will short circuit this terminal. This is the short circuited, and this is the ISC current in this branch. And here you can see that this is the two ohm resistance are connected in parallel. So one resistance will remove, and we will get equivalent resistance of these two parallel combination is 1 ohm. Now we can simplify this circuit. We can consider voltage at this point. You can apply the KVL in this loop, and in this loop, and you can get the ISC by simple KVL and KCL approach. You can get the ISC in this branch. So current ISC is 9 divided by 5 ampere. Now second step is finding the RTH and RN. So for RTH and RN, this current source will be open circuited. This voltage source will be short circuited. So here we can see that this current source is removed from here, and this voltage source is short circuited. Now we have to compute RTH across this terminal. So here this is 0 ohm. So this overall resistance will be 0 because 1 0 ohm resistance are connected in parallel. One direct short circuited. So you will get 0 from here, and this will be 2 parallel 1 plus 1. 2 parallel 1 plus 1. So this is your RTH, 5 divided by 3 ohm. RTH, RN, R internal resistance. So you can say anything. Now for computation of the VTH, we can compute ISC into RN. As I told you, you know ISC, you know RN, and you can get the 3 volt. Now you can draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and Norton equivalent circuit. This is the Norton equivalent circuit. IN is connected in the parallel with the RN across the load terminal. Now VTH is connected in the series with the RTH for the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Thank you for watching this video.